Hey guys, it's early in the morning. I think it's like 5:50. Going on a walk right now in my city. There's like a really cool park here where it's just a like walking trail, and you can like a longboard here and stuff. I used to do that. It's like asphalt. It's really cool. But yeah, I woke up early this morning at 5. That's usually when I wake up. And even on Saturdays and Sundays, I don't sleep in because I really like to go to the office and do stuff. And I don't know, I as much as I work, I actually sleep like I sleep like 7 hours a night. So I'm well rested every day. I'm not like sacrificing that. And sleep is important, but other than that, I don't want to sleep in, just waste the valuable hours of my life when I could be doing other fun stuff like this. And usually on Saturdays I go on a walk anyways, and there's a coffee shop up there and I'm gonna walk to it. Can you guys hear the crickets? It's kind of cool. But yeah, I wanted to make a video documenting my last goal, and I mentioned this goal before. I already completed 2 of my other goals, but one important thing with goals is that you have to get it stated in writing, or like this is like a more futuristic version. It's on video, right? And also you can reference this video, and when this video will be up, it'll kind of hold me to it, there'll be a record of it. So this last goal is I want to quit my day job, and I'm super close to that point. And I want to do that at the end of the year, because then it'll be a new year. And this is all considering, if America doesn't go into chaos. Well, it kind of is in chaos right now, but if it doesn't slip down into some crazy state, man, my hand's getting tired, so hold on this one. Yeah, so that's my goal, and how I'm going to accomplish that goal is I need to save a year's worth of business expenses, right? And also, part of that goal is I want to get to 50,000 people on my Instagram account, because the more audience you have, it doesn't correlate with more sales, but it definitely, if you're good at marketing and if you have a good product, you will get more sales, because more and more people will be on the page that you can market to, and people enjoy the product, the story, all this. And then also, another sub goal is to get this YouTube channel to 1,000 subscribers, just because, right? So there's kind of like 3 goals, but really it's a main goal of just quitting my job and moving over. And when I mentioned this before, saving that like $12,000, that's like a year's worth of baseline costs for like business expenses, that basically gives me a mental buffer and makes me feel more comfortable about doing that. Like, I could do all this right now, but I want to wait. I also, in my apartment with my wife, we bought like a ton of furniture, like the past couple months, and that was expensive, obviously, so kind of sucks, but that's my goal. And with goals, here's what you want to do with goals. You need to have metrics for them. If you don't have your goals clearly defined, you're not going to be able to accomplish them. And that's really the reason why a lot of people never accomplish their goals, because they don't set strict metrics. When you were in school, they talked about how newspaper editors or reporters or whatever, when they're covering a story, they have to figure out the when, where, why, how, all of that. So with goals, you want to do the same thing. You want to figure out all of those steps. Where are you going to be? How are you going to do it? So for instance, how am I going to save money? Well, I'm going to continue to be at my job, and I'm going to continue to grow the brand and grow sales with that, right? That way, those 2 incomes I'll be able to get that big buffer saved up. And it's not like a hard thing to do for me, but the money you make, you don't get to keep all of it, right? You have to pay like a lot of is like business taxes and then overhead, of course. And then, I have 2 rents. Obviously, my wife helps me with that too because, we're together, but that's like something to consider as well. But I, one thing I also did, this is like an update, and it is tied with my goal because I kind of won't be able to accomplish it unless I get super strict on myself. I am indefinitely not going to be on my personal Instagram account for a while. I honestly want to do that until the end of the year. I don't want to go on it anymore until the end of the year, until I accomplish my goal. I kind of set myself to that, and I'll try my best to do that. And I realized that my focus was getting very fractured when I would have, so I have my personal Instagram account, and then I have my clothing one. Obviously, I need to go on my clothing one because that's like a business one, but the personal one, I am going to stay off of it until I accomplish my goal, because it's like I said, my focus is getting fractured. And when you don't have really sharp, clear focus, you're not going to be able to function with your business and get stuff done. I was talking with a friend the other day about like focus and stuff like that. We were talking about like stuff they didn't teach us in school. And no joke, I'm going on some gravel now. If I had a school, I would literally make an entire class, and the whole class would be about focus and how to focus and how to be patient. Part of focus is patience. That's also one thing that people don't understand, because when you're doing something, you need patience towards it. Like when you're being intensely focused, and you can't look at everything else and be distracted, right? So with one less social media, I'll have more time to divert into focusing on my business and all of that stuff, right? Which will obviously help me accomplish my goal faster and easier. And I think that I was thinking a lot about this, and my friend and I were talking about this, like making the right decisions and being strategic. I think that, because like I'm not really one to rush into things and jump into things. I like to really think things through, right? Man, it's kind of chilly out here, so that's what I'm gonna do. And man, it's so nice, and it's nice and quiet out here. I live in a small town, but it's kind of sad. Like, this is more like a personal thing, but a lot of communities right now are like just burning, and there's like lots of like carnage and destruction. There's people being killed. It's kind of sad, like seeing communities being torn down rather than being built. That's the thing that sucks, is like those communities that are getting torn down, they're gonna be way worse off right now, because as businesses and people flee those areas, and then they become like super ghetto, and there's more crime, and it's violent, and plunges further on into chaos. One of the things, this is more like backstory, this is how I was actually born in Russia, because my parents, they lived in Tajikistan. That's where they're born, the USSR. And they had to flee that country because it was a war zone. There was a civil war going on during the time, and it was in the 90s. There's a lot of like civil conflicts and civil unrest in the 90s after the Soviet Union collapsed. There was a lot of like ethnic conflicts as well. Like my parents, they are like Russians, but there's also Tajiks and other people that live there. They're different people, and those people groups didn't get along. My parents were basically refugees, and they left that area. A lot of people left that area too. So they moved to Russia, where it's a little bit safer, although not much better. because the economic times are very rough. Like, people complain about being poor in America. They haven't, like, I mean, not to compare, but honestly, like, here in this country, like, we're so blessed. Like, the reason why immigrants, like, usually become successful and have it better is because they went through the worst already, you know? Like, people have no idea what it's like in those places, you know, and back at that time period, you know, because it's probably different right now. But yeah, that's how I was born in Russia, because my parents fled a place that was not safe, that was not good. And it's, like I said, it's just sad to see, like, communities being torn down. There's, like, fires everywhere, like, and, you know, the media doesn't cover it. I know this is like a tangent, but this is also like my Saturday vlog today, so that's just kind of like more backstory. And honestly, like, that's how I was born. That's how my parents got to Russia, because so, like, Tajikistan was part of the USSR, but then it all collapsed, and it became its own independent country. Then Russia is obviously its own independent country, and it's the biggest one out of the former bloc, right? But yeah, it's like, it's honestly such a blessing to live here, and I really like my small town. When I was younger, I was like, oh man, I want to move to Seattle. Oh, I want to move here. Like, I had these grand plans and stuff, but, like, the older I got, the more I realized, like, it's nice here, and honestly, it's been getting better here as well. Like, you know, businesses have been growing here, things have been expanding. Like, there's really beautiful, like, land here. Like, I really want to buy a piece of land one day and build, like, the coolest house. Like, you know, how I talk about, like, lean methodology and smart ways to do things, smart ways to live. Like, I have this crazy, like, plan to have a dream house where it's gonna be, like, just super efficient and, like, eco-friendly and all this stuff. I just can't wait to design stuff like that, and I would obviously show you guys that too. That's, like, my long-term goal, is to do that. Even, you know, one of the things, and I'll make a video, I always say I'll make a video, but, you know, I do keep track of this stuff, I do record this. When I was younger, I built the first house I built a house with my dad, and we lived in it, and I was, like, 10 years old, and he, like, plunged me into work, and I literally helped him build that house over 4 years. And then, I'm gonna turn around here, there was the economic recession, and unfortunately we lost that house, right? Then later on, I helped him build the second house that we lived in. So that was, like, my the childhood, just working a lot and building. So, like, I understand construction, and, like, I can't, like, build a house all by myself, but I do understand that kind of stuff and general things, and I can work with my hands. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that was a long tangent, but back to the goals. So you do really need to get your goals, like, you need to get metrics of the numbers. So when I was thinking about, like, I just got to 40,000 people on my Instagram page, and we're doing a giveaway. Like, I'm gonna announce that today. Right when I got that, I was like, that's not enough. Let's go to the next goal. Like, it's weird, once you accomplish goals, like, for me specifically, you want to go to the next level. Like, it's not, you can't stop, right? So I was like, all right, let's go to 50. So I asked my phone, I was like, how many days are left in the year? And at that, it was like a couple days ago, it was like 126 or something like that. And then I was like, all right, what is 10,000 divided by 126 or something like that? And the number came out to, like, 79 roughly. And I was like, all right, now I know exactly how many people need to pop onto the page and follow it every single day roughly. And that fluctuates, obviously, but that is, so I know that you need 79 people. So by the end of the year, I'll get to 50,000 followers, which will, it definitely helps with sales. So that is, like, a perfect example of why you need metrics for your goals. And the thing with goals is that when people look at the big picture of a goal and they get overwhelmed right away. That's also why people don't aim for big goals or do stuff like that, right? And when you break it down into little chunks, like I just said, like 10,000 divided by this is 79. 79 is not really that crazy. That's already like a similar amount of people already come to the page like that every day. So an easy way to accomplish big goals and to take big steps is to break them down to little chunks, little goals. And you'll see that a lot of big things are made up of little things, right? That is a perfect example of what to do, because otherwise you'll get overwhelmed and you'll overthink it and you're like, oh, I can't do that. Even with starting a brand, like honestly, people are like, when I was younger, I saw people that were starting brands. I was like, that's crazy. How the heck do you do that? How the heck do you have this? I remember I went to this clothing shop, or not clothing shop, it was like a jewelry store. And this was when I first started my brand, and it was like really, really early on, just very few sales. And I was talking to the owner. I was like, how the heck did you guys get a store? How did you start doing this, right? And then they were just like telling me this and this. But now that I have an office, which is a commercial space, right? It could be a store, really, in theory. Now that I got that, I was like, you know what? It really isn't that complicated of a task to do, right? You just keep growing the brand, like in your garage or your bedroom or your apartment, right? Then you get to a point where you can get like a retail space. Because I know some of you guys might really want a retail space, although COVID kind of proved that to be a mess, right? Or you want an office, or you want a warehouse. So really, all you got to do is do the little steps towards that big goal, and don't look at think about the big goal, but don't get super overwhelmed on it, right? Like my big goal is getting a warehouse, right? I want like a legit warehouse with like trucks backing in and like hundreds and thousands of orders going out a day. Like that'd be so cool. But even when I was talking to Michael, my friend that helps me out, I told him, I was like, hey, the space in this office, I'm paying for it. So we're going to expand into this office, like to the ceiling. Like when we get to that point, like we're not going to be in here and like not use it wisely, not use the space efficiently. We're going to like be smart about it and expand to the ceiling, right? Because it's obviously less overhead to pay for a smaller office than for a warehouse, right? That's kind of common sense anyways. So that's like another example of breaking down the goals. But yeah, my arm's getting super sore, and just look at this. So this is like a construction site. This is gonna be a road, and I'm actually excited about that. That's like one of the things I was talking about. The community here is like growing, and it's been getting like much better over the past decade here, which is really cool. But yeah, here's like the Saturday vlog, I guess. It's also cool. From this whole video, the sun has been rising and the video has been getting lighter, so I really like that. I hope you guys have a really great day, and remember to get your goals down to smaller pieces and put metrics on them, and be strict on yourself. You have to sacrifice. Like right now, I'm sacrificing going on my personal social media account, and I only have one. I don't have like Facebook or Snapchat or anything like that. So even then, I'm cutting out the fat, I'm getting rid of that, because without a sacrifice, you're not going to be able to accomplish anything. And that's what I'm going to end it off of. You guys have a great Saturday, and let me know what you think in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks, guys.